Hello and welcome back to another episode of Digital Road Trip. My name is Wizzy Zero, you can also call me Wizzy. And today we are continuing our journey towards Roanoke, Virginia. Now when we left off last time, we made a little pit stop here in Glasgow, Virginia. Actually, not really a pit stop, but just going on through anyways. Now, for those of you who haven't caught any of my digital road trip videos in a while, I am live streaming this on Twitch, so I will provide a link in the description below, since you obviously missed this if you're watching this on YouTube. I will have a link to my Twitch channel down in the description below, so you can head on over next Tuesday at 4 p.m. and catch me live while we're doing next week's digital road trip. Now, you may hear me occasionally talk or chat with people in the chat, so I just want to mention that right now as well. But anyways, yeah, let's continue on with Digital Road Trip, heading towards Roanoke. So did you end up getting to or watching the Friday night gaming series that I just posted up on Friday? And by the way, that is a series I currently have going on YouTube as well. I will have a link, or I can put a link to actually no, I won't. Yes, the Rascal game. No, I won't have a link to it. I do have a playlist for that series though, if you want to check that out. But yeah, it is Rascal, the game that I just put up. And this game, by the way, I'm talking about is a PlayStation 1 game that I currently have going on in that series. A game called Rascal. Yeah, it is a pretty difficult game. I think when I mentioned it in the video as well, it kind of mentioned the way the camera works is kind of difficult with it, but I think we'll get through it. Even if it's one level at a time, just like with anything else, we'll get through it. Is the school bus parked over here? Are they on a field trip or something like that and they end up stopping at a motel here? Budget Inn? So one thing I've noticed with this route here, I think, what route was this again? I can't remember. 11, that's right. One thing I've noticed with this route here, yeah, no, it didn't seem to work very well. Yeah, this route seems to kind of follow the 81, or Interstate 81 rather, because I've noticed that the last couple episodes have been kind of crisscrossing with the 81, kind of doing like a little dance. Of course, it's not going to show Roanoke on there because we have the interstate that goes there. Oh, well, it shows on there. 41 miles. That's right, we were going to probably be able to get into Roanoke this episode, weren't we? Kind of forgot about that. That we were close enough where we should be able to get there this episode. Even if we go on a little bit longer, then that's fine. Just make this live stream a little bit longer, which is fine as well, since considering I started a little bit late. And of course, it means the video will be a little bit longer, but once again, that's fine. Because typically I think I go about 30 minutes, but even if it goes to about 45, that's fine. Natural Bridge Zoo just ahead. It's the second billboard we saw for that zoo. Yep. So wait, was this the zoo right here? Must be. Yeah, Savari gift shop. Open daily. And we have like a little... It's Coming, Dinosaur Kingdom 2. No idea what that is. Must be part of the zoo or something. Or just like a roadside attraction or something. That's kind of strange, but whatever. Gotta have those quirky roadside attractions every so often. Spice things up a little bit. Even though I have a feeling that one probably doesn't get very many visits, but you never know. I was gonna say this kind of reminds me of going through Virginia, but then I just remembered we are in Virginia. So it's like, way to forget where we currently are, even though I've already mentioned it quite a few times. So 11 keeps going along this way, and that was State Route 130. Starting to get kind of higher up, so we'll probably have a nice view up here. I mean, it already kind of looks pretty nice along that way. Now, I don't know if this is part of the Shenandoah Valley, or if that's more eastern Virginia. But this should still technically be part of the Appalachians, I believe. Oh, really? Must have been kind of fun going through all the different states. I know that would be kind of fun just to go everywhere. Just see the different regions of the country. So 11 is going off this direction. But yeah, I figured I'd do this series since not everybody gets the chance to do this sort of thing. Oh, well. Guess we're staying on the other road, because 11's joining the 81. Yeah. And I know each region of the country, too, kind of has... like, they all do things differently as well. Different lifestyles, like I said. I know, up where I live, it could be quite different. Especially from other places of the country that I've been to. Of course, this time of the year. Well, I mean, the state I live in too, Maine, you get a lot of tourists during the summer, especially along the coast. And this time of year, tourists kind of go more western part of the state for the skiing. But other than that, it gets pretty quiet. Because the job I do drive shuttle bus during the summer. And of course, during the winter, that's all shut down because, you know, the whole area that I work in was basically shut down for the winter. I know I've talked with people from all over the world as well, which is pretty cool. So you get people from everywhere just exploring different areas. Oh, you're down in Texas. Oh, yeah. I'm sure you guys, to a certain extent, probably have certain seasons as well. Like I'm sure everybody heading south during the winter and trying to get away during the summer because it's so warm. I know I wish I could get away during the winter, but unfortunately I can't. So this road seems like it's pretty good too, because we're like literally right next to the interstate. So yeah, I know up here in Maine we get a lot of people that what we call the snowbirds that head down to like Florida, especially during the winter to get away, and then they come back up here during the summer, keep going back and forth. Yeah, I'm sure it gets pretty warm down there. Whereas like here it gets really cold. Yeah. In fact, I know like earlier this morning, because we have classes that started up this week. Well, actually today was my first class, and when I got up earlier, the weather app showed it was 6 degrees and felt like -3. And the other day we had the wind chills down into like the negative teens. Hot and not so hot. Yeah. See, our seasons, we have winter, spring, which would basically be mud season. Summer, basically like tourist construction season, and then fall. Those are like our seasons. Although it seems like lately they've been upper 70s, yeah. Crossed over to the other side. I want to stay on this side because this camera is better. Yeah. Well, I noticed like here we're supposed to get back into the high 20s, mid to low 30s for the rest of the month. So it's gonna warm back up a little bit, which is nice. I mean, I like it when it's mild like that, because normally we can have winters that get even colder, snowier. But the last few winters it seems like it hasn't been too bad. Okay, so I wonder if this 11's splitting off up here, or if it's still tagging along with the 81. We're losing this road as well. So it doesn't show the 11 on that sign. Shows it on there, but that looks like it also goes... Just had to peek at the map there for a moment. Yeah, that sucks. I know the humidity can... That's what really gets you. Buchanan, Virginia. I haven't seen any signs showing us how far we are to Roanoke here. Yeah. And you have that humidity. It is tough to cool down. You just have to stay inside where it's nice, or you hopefully have an air conditioning unit. It's like, I know here it can get pretty warm, but nothing like there. South Buchanan. So, wait, did the 11 get off there now? That's what it kind of looks like. Yeah. Okay, so we have the 11 now. Yeah, down that way you kind of have to, there's almost have to be like a rule to have like your house have AC in it. Or else it'd be kind of hard to survive, I feel like, without one. Yeah, I know here I usually try to push keeping my air conditioner in as long as I can. But of course I can't keep it in through the winter because, I mean, it will just break. Like, I think I can usually push it to about October, November before I can take it out. Because usually it doesn't start snowing until November, December. Then I have to wait till like May, June to put it back in. Yeah, probably April, May. So we should be probably about 25, 30 miles, I'm guessing, to Roanoke here. Been going at this for maybe 20 minutes. I didn't even look at the clock when I started. But you know what, that's fine. We're gonna keep going until we get to Roanoke anyways, so. So Buchanan seems like it's a small little town. Not a whole lot going for it. Unless we didn't see the whole town, which, I mean, more than likely we haven't. Family Dollar. For a moment there, I thought it was going to be like a Dollar General. It's like we're in the middle of a tiny town, and then we have like Dollar General. Because that's what it seems like with Dollar Generals. They just pop up in the smallest town they can find, almost. 26 miles, so I was actually pretty close on that. Because I know... Well, I used to live on the other side of Bangor here in Maine, and I think just when we were leaving, which was about 4 years ago, they were starting to build one. And now they've just popped up everywhere. It's like spreading like wildfire. Yeah. It's almost like they don't want to build in larger towns. Which, I mean, I guess isn't a bad thing. It gives people in those smaller towns a place to shop. It's like I know there's another local Maine business. They have branches, but it's just here in Maine. It's called Rennie's. And I know they're kind of the same philosophy. Like they only have places in smaller towns. Like they don't really do them in the large cities here in Maine. Not like we have many of those anyways, but in the largest city we have... Oh, well, there's a Dollar General. Speak of the devil. I mean, the largest city here in Maine has like 68,000 people in it, so still small compared to a lot of other states. California, Texas, for instance. Yeah, that too. River crossing. Okay, we are still on 11. Now I know one thing about US 11 too is it does go straight into Roanoke. because I have, I know, kind of cheating, but I have in the past looked at the map there just to see if it at least heads in the right direction and it goes straight into Roanoke. So we don't have to worry about trying to find other roads to get into Roanoke. Just keep following this road. Well, it's starting to get, it's going to become a 4-lane road. So I wonder if we're starting to get into a larger population area. Speed limit looks like it's going down as well, so more than likely we are. And guess what? Interstate 81, our best friend. We meet again. I was gonna say, got a big truck stop here, but it's really not a truck stop. I mean, it kind of is a place where trucks can park, but really not that big. Wait, what? I'd say that place has definitely seen better days. So, oh, we're still in Buchanan. I was gonna say, where are we now, but technically this is still part of Buchanan, so. Adopt a highway. I feel like Maine should do that. Because doesn't the Adopt a Highway program, like, the sponsors there help with the repaving of roads and everything like that? Because I'm not entirely, I don't know a lot about that. Because here in Maine, we don't have anything like that. I think there might be, like, actually, I can't think of any areas here in Maine that have that. Because we just have the regular interstates with no Adopt a Highway sections. We don't, and the US routes don't have anything like that either. I know New Hampshire has it, but of course Interstate 95 in through New Hampshire is like 12 miles. Well, maybe 16 at most. Because that's the way I usually go. I usually take 95 when I, like, if I'm going to Boston or whatever. Yeah, that's what I thought. Which makes sense. Like, up this way, we definitely need some. Like, up where I live, we don't even have any toll roads. So, the only toll roads we have are in southern Maine, that's on the interstate. Other than that. Yeah, our roads get pretty torn up every, like, I think we have to repave every, like, 2, 3, 4 years because of the winters. Winter just does not help the roads. Of course, every year they have to repaint the lines. And in fact, it's kind of funny. A few weeks ago, just down the road, they were painting the crosswalk. It's like, really? As soon as we get a storm and put salt and sand down, that paint's just gonna fade away again. Yeah. We don't really have the traffic. So, I mean, like on the interstate, it's only 2 lanes. So, like, when we get out of Bangor, and it goes down to 1 lane, traffic's still moving really smoothly, because we just don't have the traffic that backs up. I mean, in town, even then, it really doesn't back up much. The only time it really backs up is if there's any accidents. But even then, it's like a mile, maybe 2 at most. But yeah, sometimes some spots it can be absolutely terrible. I know down by where I work, or the section that I drive in for, they just had a major road reconstruction for over 2 years, and they did it one way, like one-way detours, and it was not. Although the second detour I didn't mind, but the detour they had the year prior is down this tight road, and I had to make this turn. And of course, mind you, this is basically in the middle of nowhere, no lights, tiny narrow road. You have to make a right turn with rocks right on the corner there with a bus. Oh yeah, I think I've seen about that section there. Just insane. Of course, I mean, like I said, you guys have a lot more people down that way too, so you, I mean, that's like, think what, like right in Houston or something like that? So you have everyone that lives around there that has to utilize that section of highway. And they need some sort of way to get people to where they need to go without too much traffic problems. But yeah, I'm sure it still gets pretty congested though. See, the widest we get is down in southern Maine. It's like 6 lanes total, 3 on each side. Yeah. 2.3 million people. I think that's like what the entire state of Maine has for a population. Something like that. I feel like, I don't know, I'd have to look it up. Troutville. See, the Bangor area where I live in, we have about, well, Bangor itself is like 33,000 people. But still, I mean, I can't even imagine that. According to Google, population of Maine has, yeah, so it's almost double the population. Well, not quite double, but still, I mean, I couldn't even imagine. It's like going to New York City. You have like, it was like 7 million people all within like, what is it, like 30 square miles almost. Although Houston, I'm sure, is a bit more spread out, not quite so dense, but I mean, I just couldn't imagine. Well, if we had that kind of population too, it would make things even worse. Then not only you have to deal with snow, but you have to deal with that many people, the traffic, and yeah. It's like I used to go to school down in Boston, and I mean, Boston's not too bad. It's still pretty dense, but I mean, of course, when I was down there, I didn't drive. I mean, I just took public transit everywhere. I mean, I didn't need to have a car in Boston. 669 square miles, yeah. Of course, you have the room to be able to spread out too over there in like New York, where, like I said, it's just everything's so dense, you don't have the room to spread out. That's why they have all those skyscrapers everywhere. I haven't seen a mile mark or mile sign to Roanoke here in a little bit, or in a while. But if I was to make a guess, I'd probably say we're about 10 miles to Roanoke. fact, we have a huge sign over for a roundabout up here, a rotary. Now we've gone into the past where there... Oh, no, never mind. Okay. Going back and forth through time. So this must be a pretty heavily used area. So they did this sort of road construction. Wait, where's the 11? Where did the 11 go? It must be we're still on the 11. Unless it joined up with... No, the 11's right here, okay. Okay, if we could not go back and forth, that would be absolutely fantastic. Shoney's. Let's not do that either. Yeah, I don't know what that was all about, but... Yeah, let's, like I said, let's not do that. Let's keep going down the road. Spent enough time in that area as it is. Must have a substation over here. More construction. Yeah, speaking of construction, seems like they're trying to push more construction through during the winter, but it's just there's only so much they can do as well. Like I know they're getting ready to replace a bridge on a pretty well-used road right over the interstate, and they're gonna end up completely closing it down because they're gonna completely remove the bridge and then build a new one right in its spot. But luckily I don't usually go down that road much anyways, so I mean, I know some of the buses are gonna have to, school buses especially, they're gonna have to find a new way to do it, although it's not, there's another bridge that kind of, how long is it expected to take? I'm not entirely sure. I want to say, I don't know. If they're gonna do it like that, maybe 6 months. Maybe by the fall they'll have it done. Because I know there's a bridge that's kind of parallel to that. That's maybe a few hundred feet away that they did. But that's even more of a busier road. And they did one side at a time, which ended up taking longer. I think that's like 2.5 years for them to do. But of course, when they do it, they'll have lane closures on the interstate through that area. Which is fine, I mean, gotta deal with it anyways, so. I mean, to be honest, I'd rather see them fix all these bridges and everything like that. Because I know some of these bridges that we have are in desperate need of being replaced. Because I know some of them you can actually see the rebar. That's how bad they are. Yeah, I know sometimes it can seem like that. And I know there's some construction projects they've mentioned about that they're gonna do, and it's like, okay, when are they gonna do it? Because over by the mall, they're supposed to be doing one bridge over the interstate they're gonna make a divergent diamond interchange. And then there's another one where they're planning on expanding one of the interstates a few miles. It seems like they haven't even started doing that yet. But I know those will take quite a bit of time to work on as well, especially expanding the interstate. Gotta clear all the trees down. All that fun stuff. Oh, there's another Dollar General. Oh, I tell you what, once these construction projects are done, it'll be nice. It's like with any construction project, it's like you need it, but it's inconvenient. And they're happy when it's done. Because you don't have to worry about the pain that comes along with it. Kind of like what I mentioned when where I used to work. Had that with a detour there. It was nice having to not deal with it anymore. Because this past summer was the first summer where you didn't have, or was completely done. And the road was so nice afterwards too. But of course we all know it's only going to last for so long too. Oh yeah. It's like I know one thing they're doing on some sections of the interstate up here is they're clearing quite a bit of trees from the edges of the interstate. And I think they're doing that more so for like the wildlife. If there's like any deer that come up, you have time to see them, because right now it's only like the trees are still fairly close to the interstate. I mean, they're not right there, but it's probably 10-20 feet still to the tree line. Oh, I tell you what, sometimes through town here I wish they widened the interstate, but I know sometimes these construction jobs, it's like, do they know what they're doing? Okay, so we are in Roanoke now, I just noticed. So once we get into town, or towards the center of town, we will find a place to stop and finish this episode. Must be some sort of school or something like that. Yep, school main entrance. Now, I'm not sure if this road goes right through downtown Roanoke here, but it may. We'll find out though. Because I feel like we just kind of got into town not that long ago. Like where we actually get into the city limits itself, I suppose. Or maybe not city limits, but... So that means we're gonna probably still take a little bit before we get into the center of town. It's currently 5:30, so we've been going at this for probably about almost 45 minutes, I think 40 minutes. But at least this way we can start with a new Okay, what? No, we're not doing that. Nope. That is not a thing we're going to be doing. No, what did I just say? We're not doing that. Normally I wouldn't do that, but... In a way, I feel like we're getting out of town already. But maybe not. Oh, Civic Center. Yeah, probably not. So let's go towards the Civic Center. I feel like that's a good spot to go to. So that was straight. Yeah, no, I think we're getting up towards the center of town up this way. That must be the Civic Center there. Kind of looks like a mall in a way. Okay, yeah, there's downtown. So I think when we get up here somewhere, I'm going to find a spot to stop. In fact, I think I might use this to stop right here. Yeah, you know what? This is going to be our place to stop, so... Of course, this song just started. I hate switching out songs without the, them ending, but you know what? We're just gonna do that. Why not? So anyways, like I said, we're gonna stop here. We'll look for a new spot to head to for the next episode, since we have reached our destination of downtown Roanoke. So yeah, probably I'll go somewhere along the East Coast still, and then work our way around the country once we get down to Florida. I think I mentioned that before. But yeah, so we'll do that next episode. Look for a new spot to stop, or new spot to go to. But of course, for those of you, I mean, like I said, this is going to be it for this episode. So that means for those of you watching on YouTube, or for those of you watching on Twitch rather, don't go anywhere, because we will have one more bonus GeoGuessr coming right up. But again, for those of you on YouTube, you are going to have to wait until next week to see another video of this. But, and also, like I said, I do have the Twitch link down in the description below, so maybe you'll be able to catch the Twitch stream next week. But anyways, once again, I know I keep saying this, but once again, that is just about gonna do it for this episode though. So hopefully you've enjoyed. If you did, make sure you leave a thumbs up. And of course, as always, well, I'm gonna have this music run on once I finish talking, but anyways, as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye!